Hello and welcome to Let's Sip and Talk with Freema. We'll wait for a few people to join. He's going to speak with us. Well, I'll let him tell you what we're speaking about today. But thank everyone for tuning in today. You guys rock. You're awesome. On. A few moments. I hope everyone, celebrated Memorial Day for our fallen. So, shout out to everyone that is fighting for our country, our city, for one another, for the people. So, all of our fallen soldiers, rest in peace. Let's see if we can go ahead and add him. And I hope everyone is having a good day. I hope you're prepared for the work week that came around very, very quickly. And I'm always hot for some reason. But while we're waiting for him to come on, I do know that he is supposed to be giving us helpful suggestions on things that we could do during this time of quarantine. Help ourselves. Oh, I think we have him. Let's see. There you are.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Weird, it's not coming through my
Yeah,
headphone.
we can hear you good.
Okay, cool. What's going on? Good morning. Or
You can hear
I
us.
guess evening for y'all, huh?
Right, that's what I was about to say. He's in Japan, everyone, so that's why it's morning for him and evening for us, getting his day started.
Right.
Tyrone,
It's pretty well.
tell us a little about yourself. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm from the obviously. I grew up in Florida, or was living in Ohio before coming out this way. What brought me here was, a crazy opportunity that kind of fell in my lap. It wasn't really anything that was on my radar per se. Something bigger and better for myself. I was in the States and I was doing like personal training, sports performance, CrossFit. I was doing, training all ages, a little bit of everything, and then one of my buddies I played football with in college, he hit me up on a random and he was like, bro, I got an opportunity for you. I don't know how you feel about it, et cetera, et cetera. And he was working in China at the time. So I knew it was going to be something of that magnitude, that scale. I'll give it a shot, man. So yeah, I didn't even have a passport yet. I had never been outside of the country, any of that. So it was definitely one of those situations of taking a leap and just like, just going with it and see where life takes me. And I gotta say, it was, to this point, one of the best decisions I've made in my life. What the actual opportunity is working with the Olympic short track speed skating team, and we're a winter Olympic sport, so everything. COVID hasn't necessarily impacted us in terms of our Olympic pursuits and everything. Not quite yet, at least. Hopefully, it doesn't. But yeah. So
well, we're not gonna say yet. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, right on. But yeah, like yeah, that's my main gig. That's what I do here, and then kind of in a similar way, I fell into playing American football out here. I guess I don't have to say American football, right? Yeah, I'm used to saying it now. But yeah, I kind of fell into out here as well. Just ran into some people, and they were like, "Yo, we want you to play." And I originally turned them down because of the nature of my work. Like with work, we travel quite a bit throughout Japan and then worldwide as well. So I'm always on the go, moving, zipping around.
Okay.
So I turned them down, said no, but they weren't trying to hear it. They kept hitting me up like, "Yo, we want you, we want you, we want you." So I ended up saying yes to that and did pretty well, and still doing so. So yeah, things are good. Things are good. I have zero complaints, and yeah, that's kind of like that's the what I excuse me what I do and how I got here. I think it's always important, and this is something that I talk about as we get into the actual subject matter of today is the why.
Right.
Yeah, for me, I'm on a mission to, like, I want to cultivate conviction. I want people to understand and believe the greatness that they have inside of themselves, and that's my, my driving force for people to, really see the beauty that they have within, the strength that they have within, to be able to be successful and do anything that they, set their mind and their hearts to, and just be kind of a catalyst for that energy and those feelings. That's my driving force, and why I do the things that I do. Yeah, but I want to
Well,
thank you.
that's awesome. So I think
we got a little bit of a lag, I think, but I just wanted to say real quick, yeah, thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate the opportunity. It's great to
oh,
connect with some people, on the other side of the world, back home. So yeah, thank you for the
right.
opportunity.
You're more than welcome, and I thank you as well. So when you to go back a bit, have you always been this motivated? Have you always been, into people and wanting to guide them in the right direction? Like, let's talk about the mental side of it. Like what motivation, any suggestions can you give us to keep us mentally stable? With being that you,
Hmm.
you kind of touched a lot of areas and dealt with a lot.
Yeah, so I think I've always had that thing in me, and I think that's important for all of us to kind of find that fire within us and help lead us in the direction of truly being successful. A lot of people talk about chasing the paper and all of that. That's not necessarily my philosophy. While I do, very important for sure, you need to get your money, but I think you know
Right.
um, pursuing passions and doing things that really ignite your fire. That's where the real riches and the real wealth lies for us. So yeah, I've always kind of been that way. Whether I was an athlete on the field, I was always kind of that coach on, per se. People would call me. I was. So this has always been something that has been a passion of mine. To answer about individually right now, and even beyond everything with COVID, because I know some of the quarantines and stuff are starting to get lifted, and people are getting out maybe a little bit too much than what they anyway.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, so I think again, going back to what I was just saying, is the one of the first things is understanding your why. I truly believe without intention, without a sense of purpose, then we'll waver in the face of adversity. When adversity comes, and it damn sure will, when hard times show their face, if you don't have a strong reason and intention behind your actions, then you're gonna be like, that's all right. I'm gonna chill on that. So
Right.
really finding that why, and then it has to be something that's very, very deeply rooted emotionally. You can't just say, because if we're talking about our psychology and of our behavior as human beings, what drives our behavior is our emotions. It's not the common sense thinking brain. Like, everybody knows that eating vegetables is a great thing to do. We all know that. Everybody knows that, working out, training, doing something active every day, that's something that we should do. Everybody knows that, but not everybody does that. And I think the people that are
Mhm.
able to, kind of channel the energy they need to carry out those habits on a daily basis and do the things that they know they should do, is because there's a deeply seated emotional reason or intention behind those things. And this could be, it varies from person to person, obviously, and that's something that I encourage everyone to do, is really dig deep and go beyond the surface of, like, I want to work out so my booty look nice. Like, I want everybody to go a little
Right.
bit deeper than that, and ask yourself why it's important to you. What is it about the luscious, lavish body that is so appealing to you? And then if we dig a little deeper, maybe we can see that
Right.
that's something that gives me confidence. And then, okay, well, like, why do you want to be confident? What is it about confidence that is so appealing to you? And it's like, when I'm confident, all the people around me, they feel my energy. They
Right.
understand. They can see it and feel what I want to do, who I want to be, and I have a much bigger impact that way. And then when we get there, that's when it's like, okay, all right, we talking now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of stuff that we're looking for, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about when I say find your why. So again, we need to go deeper and deeper, deeper.
Okay.
Yeah,
We need to go
and yeah,
deeper.
yeah, exactly. Go deep and really
It's
find, that deep seated why, and that's gonna be kind of like the fun that's gonna lead you down the path that you need to go. The starting steps, at least.
that makes Right. That makes a lot of sense because I'm gonna be honest with you. I always say, yeah, I want to work out, and I never,
Hmm.
ever. Well, I'm not gonna say I never do it, but I'm not consistent with it. I'll start, and it's like, man, I don't feel like doing this. And the reason why I want to work out is just okay. I want to lose. I always have a goal of about 7 pounds. It's never anything that's dramatic or, and then I just kind of give up. So that makes a lot of sense because I never sat there and really thought, okay, what's my reasoning? Why do I want to lose this weight? Why do I what's taking me there? So it makes a lot of sense. The why. That makes a lot of sense. I know a lot of us don't do that.
Yeah, that would be my first question to you. If we were sitting down and we were having a consultation, and you said, "Yeah, I want to lose 7 pounds," I'd be like, "Okay, why? Why is that? What about 7 pounds? What about that
Then
number to
my
you?"
why would be I'm getting ready to go out of town, get ready to go on a girls' trip, and I need
Hmm.
to tone up. I need to lose a few pounds. That would be my why.
Okay, okay. And then yeah, and I like we don't have to do it right now, but I keep digging deeper. Okay, like so what about this 7 pounds on the girl trip? You feel like you wouldn't have fun otherwise, or we don't have to do all of that right now, but that's what I'm saying. Just continue to dig deeper until
Right.
you really feel that emotional piece to it. I'll say I'll kind of speak on my own situation. A lot of people, if anybody follows me, they know like I get down with the training on the training. Like that's
Yeah.
my thing, and people,
I would be nervous to be training with you, Tyrone.
I get that
I
a
would be
lot. I
nervous.
just and just so you know and understand, like I said, I've trained with all people from on all ranges of the spectrum. At one point in time, my oldest client, he was in the 70s, dementia, all of that. I've trained little kids, I've trained pro athletes, so I've trained it all. Like I got you. I wouldn't be too crazy. I'm gonna work you. I'm gonna work you, no doubt. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like for me, in terms
Yeah.
of driving forces, motivators, I kind of the way I like to do it is kind of put things on two ends of the spectrum. I have one end of the spectrum that's kind of pushing me, and something that I don't necessarily want to say running from, but something that is really kind of a fire behind me. I think about the emotion and the feeling of like playing football, the emotion and feeling of being doubted. Like coming up in college, I wasn't a highly recruited player. I was actually a walk on, and for those who don't understand what that means, that basically means that you start at the bottom of the totem. You try out for the team, they say, okay, you can join us, but like you're at the bottom, and you gotta if you want anything, which more times than not, walk-ons kind of stay down there. They don't get that opportunity to actually get to the top. So like as a walk-on, I just remember that feeling of being doubted and them saying like you're gonna get your opportunity last. Doesn't matter what you do, et cetera, et cetera. That type of energy. I think about last season losing games and not being where I wanted to be, and just that feeling of regret, that feeling of frustration. I literally feel that in the pit of
Right.
my stomach, and that's the kind of emotion that you need sometimes to be like, all right, like I can't go out like that. I can't go back to feeling that way. I got to do everything I can in this moment to be the best I can be. So that's that end of the spectrum. But then on the other end, I'm
Mhm.
thinking of, and this is something that more so I'd say I'm running towards. And I think about my nephews, and not just them, but anybody who's watching me, and who has an appreciation for the things that I do. But like my nephew specifically, my sister, she plays him all my videos, working out, training, and then every time we do a video chat, he like, Uncle, look, he doing his little squats, doing his push-ups and burpees, and I see that, and again, that's something that really, it touches me here, and I'm like, okay, like nephew is watching, he's watching. It don't matter, somebody
Right.
is always watching, and somebody can always benefit from your grind, your
Right.
tenacity, your spirit to keep fighting and be better. somebody is always watching, and somebody can always benefit from that. So just keeping that in mind also on that
Right.
spectrum, I think is very important when it comes to the why too.
Right. That makes a lot of sense as well because you never know, like you said, who's watching. You see your nephews watching, but you don't know who's watching, your videos online, or you don't know who's watching you in your always good to strive for greater and feel like you're doing a good deed for somebody else, even if you may not know it. But yeah, people
Right, right.
watch, people pay attention, and people learn from each other. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Facts. Big
What
facts
pointers
about
would
it.
you give us, like as far as the working out, as far as nutrients and the intake in our bodies? How do you stay healthy and working out and mentally staying healthy? So, what type of nutrients and nutritional
So
facts you can share with us?
in terms of nutrition, I have a couple different. So I really believe in a habits based approach to anytime you're talking about behavior change, then we have to kind of look at our habits. And before we really go into the actual habits themselves, we have to think about our thought process. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have kind
Okay.
of seen that flow chart where it's saying our thoughts. We have to watch our thoughts because our thoughts become actions. We have to watch our actions become
Right.
habits. That type of thing. And then our habits
Okay.
create our character. The person that we are, and then uh, further down the line, our character will determine our destiny
Right.
or what we eventually are. So coming back to those thoughts, I think it's extremely important first and foremost to really shift your paradigm of thinking. A lot of times we have that mindset of, I don't have enough. I don't have, and that could be knowledge, that could be any kind of resources or whatever. So kind of flipping the switch there first
Right.
and foremost and be like, okay, you have everything you need to be successful right now. You do. Okay. So just believing and understanding that first and foremost. You may not have all the ins and outs of knowledge of what specific things to eat, the quantities and all of that. Um, that's fine. You'll get there eventually. But just having that mindset there, I think is key to starting that journey. And then, kind of coming off of that concept also is having a growth mindset, a mindset in which you're okay to fail and not worried about, okay, like,
Right.
oh man, I've tried to lose this 7 pounds before. I've tried it before and I wasn't successful. So maybe I ain't even gonna worry about it this time. That type of thing. So like
Right.
coming out of that
Yep.
fixed mindset of being like, again, like I don't have everything I need, and since I don't, then I'm not even gonna do anything. Coming out of that and just having that growth mindset to be like, yo, like it's all right. I'm gonna try this out. It might not work out, but it just tells me one way that not to do this and not to carry out this journey. And this is just about
Right.
learning and educating yourself.
Exactly.
So like those are the things, mindset wise, I think. And then I'm a big believer in like having a vision. So one of the quotes I love:
Okay.
everything is created twice. Basically meaning, in order for this goal of you, seven minus those 7 pounds, the vision that you have, like that, you have to have
Hmm.
that in your mind first before it can actually come into fruition. If it's not there, if it's not in your mind, and you
Right.
can't really and truly vividly see it, feel it, touch it, smell it, then it's not gonna be. It's more than likely not gonna come into reality. So having that vision first and foremost, I think, is
Right.
okay. And then moving into some actual, tangible habits that we can build from there. I think, again, like you'll find like some of these concepts, it all intertwines. It all intertwines. But I think first and foremost, we need to eat with a
Right.
purpose, and really think about fueling ourselves for success. If we want to be the best that we can be, we have to, put the best things in our body that we can, that we have available.
Right.
And like, a common analogy is, if you have a top-notch sports car, or a race car or whatever, you're not going to put
Right.
some or whatever in there. You're going to put the top-notch, premium
Yes.
stuff in there.
87
You have to
great.
think about, you know what I'm saying? And you have to treat yourself in the same
Right.
way. Like you are a work of art. You are, a masterpiece. You are a beautiful and powerful machine. So fuel it appropriately.
Right.
Okay. So eat with
That's
a purpose.
true.
And Yeah, and essentially what I mean by eat with a purpose, we want really, really focus on minimally processed foods, meaning things that come from nature as much as you can. You know, if it comes from the ground, then that's going to be more the direction of where you want to go in terms of your food choices. Um, and
Okay.
yeah, and like, and I'm not necessarily a proponent of veganism or a plant-based diet, or you know, a omnivorous diet. Like whatever you can find something that works for you. I don't believe in speaking absolutes and saying
Right.
like this is the diet that you need to do. I don't believe in that because if you look at the cultures of the world, some of the most healthy, you know, in terms of longevity and things like that, they still eat meat.
Right.
They some of their diets are actually very high in fat and like saturated fats and meats and things like that. Whereas there are other cultures who are, you know, completely plant-based. They don't eat any meats whatsoever, and the same thing, they have, you know,
Mhm.
a lot of longevity and everything like that. So, but the common thread, no matter which end of the spectrum they are in terms of like meat, vegetables, etc., is that it's natural. They're not eating processed foods
It's
like we
natural.
have so readily available in our culture, like U.S. and you know it's like Western culture in general. We can go to the store and I just I think back, you know, like how I used to love that as a kid, just going down that cereal aisle and it's just like just boom, like you go down and you got everything, Crunch, Lucky Charms, Cocoa Puffs, like everything, you know, all of
Yes.
those. But all of that, unfortunately, is
Yep.
not the stuff we need to be, you know, choosing. So um, I think
Yeah.
because of the way that industry is built, it's really become an addiction for a lot of us to really start grabbing and going down those aisles. And a tip that people often say,
Now,
you know, in the health and fitness industry is go on the outside. Stay, try the best you can to stay away from them aisles in the middle,
okay.
because that's where the trouble is. So stay on the outside. That's where you usually have your produce. If you do have, you know, your breads and things like that, they're fresh baked typically
Right.
there. Your vegetables, your meats, your poultries, fishes, all of those things like that. So staying on the of the grocery
Oh,
stores that help with that too. Okay, so so yeah, tip number one is just eating
yeah.
minimally processed
Never
foods.
know that.
Yeah, and tip number two comes is talking about our carbohydrates. So carbs, they often get a bad name, but you know it's one of the three macronutrients, and I'll talk about those just a little bit more in a second. But it's one of the three
Hmm.
macronutrients that are essential for our performance, our being, everything like that. You know, carbohydrates are actually the main fuel that our brain uses to be able to function and everything properly. So if you're low on carbohydrates, and we've all felt this before, if you don't eat anything throughout the day sometimes, and you kind of feel a headache and feel a
Right.
sluggishness, and you know you can't necessarily process your thoughts the way that you want to and need to. That's oftentimes because you're depleted on carbohydrates. So there
Oh,
that's
wow.
an essential piece of the puzzle, carbohydrates. Now where we get into trouble is when we have an abundance of those carbohydrates. So my recommendation, and this is just kind of a general guide, I don't believe that
Hmm.
unless you're doing a figure competition or your sports or anything like that really requires you to have very specific body composition standards, then I don't
Hmm.
necessarily think that you need to go down that road of actually like measuring out everything and saying, okay, I have
Okay.
6.5 ounces of chicken here, and you know, I don't necessarily think that's the route that the vast majority of people need to go. You can. I'm not knocking that at all. I think that's a fantastic thing to do if you really want to understand, you know, the portion sizes and things like that. But a thing that's more relative
Right.
and easier to follow and easier to actually create the habit of you know, eating the proper eating and suitable for you, given your goals, etc., is going to be by your hands. Okay, so for carbohydrates specifically,
Okay.
well, we'll do a cup size. So just like if I cut my hand just like this here,
Uh-huh.
between 1 and 2 cups of carbohydrate, and then again, if we're talking about good sources of carbohydrate, this could be your brown rice, your oats, quinoa, things like that. A cupped handful of those, 1 to 2 cupped handfuls, is going to be right on the money about where you need to be. And obviously that'll vary from person to person. Like, if we have, a big football dude who's, like with huge hands, he's going to need more. So his hands will
Right.
adequately, give him the portion sizes there. So yeah,
Right.
that's gonna vary from person to person. If you do have weight loss goals, then typically we'd say, okay, we're gonna take one of those handfuls away and just go one handful or one and a half. And again, like I was talking about, that growth mindset, um, you have to be willing to
Mm-hmm.
experiment with yourself. All right, I'm gonna start off with a cup and a half and see how I feel there. Maybe that cup and a half isn't doing what I needed to do. I'll take away a half, or maybe I'll add in another half. Those type of things. So being willing to experiment, but
Right.
a general guideline: 1 to 2 cup handfuls of carbohydrates is going to get you where you need to go. Okay, in terms of carbs. Before I talk about the other
Mm-hmm.
two, well, I'll talk about the general idea of the 3 macronutrients. So the three we have: carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Okay, just talked about carbs. Again, all
Okay.
3 of these are, there's no, like, you shouldn't eat that has fat. Fat is good. We need fat. It helps to protect a lot of our like it's the membrane. A lot of the membranes of our cells and things like that are made of fat. There's a thing called a lipid bilayer that we have.
Okay.
It's fat. So we need fat, and that's kind of our protective element within the body. It encases our neurons, everything. So fat is essential. Fat is essential. And I know a lot of you probably have heard of
Yeah.
omega-3, things like that. Again, omega-3 isn't the only one. There's
Right.
omega-6, omega-9. And again, like, having a balance there is going to be key to helping us be as healthy as possible. So yeah, there are the big 3, the macros, and there are also micronutrients. The micronutrients are typically found they're found in abundance in vegetables, fruits, things like that. That's why those are essential for us to consume those, because the micronutrients
Okay.
all of our biological processes to be able to function, talk, just everything, all of the things that make us healthy. The macronutrients are really behind those. So even though I'm sorry, the micronutrients. So even though the name is micro, that doesn't mean they're little in significance. They really have a big impact as well. So again, like your vegetables,
Yeah.
specifically vegetables, are really, really nutrient packed in terms of micros. And then again, you have your macros too that you want to take care of. So going back to the macros, we'll talk about protein. So protein is like our building block. Protein helps us
Mm-hmm.
to, after we do our training and things like that, it helps us to recover properly. It's that's the building up factor that we need to consume and help to keep us healthy there. In terms of protein, my
Mm-hmm.
my my portion guide recommendation is about a palm size. Okay, so the size of my palm, that's going to kind of determine how much protein I will eat per meal. And again, depending on who you
Okay.
are, you might go 2, you might go 1, you might go 1.5, you might even go 2.5, 3. It just kind of depends on what specifically your goals are, and what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, and then fats. The fat portion is going to be about a thumb size. So this could be like a handful of nuts, like almonds, or cashews, or whatever. You have avocados, different things like that. Yeah, your nuts, and the same thing, 1 to 2 thumb size portions of fats on your plate. And they're like actual visual graphics. Like, a lot of the information that I'm giving to you guys right now in terms of nutrition, it's
Mm-hmm.
called Precision Nutrition, and they have a wealth of information actually on their website. Different infographics and things like that, so you can actually see these things that I'm explaining to you. From a visual sense. So I know some people are visual learners, so they need to see it to really lock it in.
Visual learner. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a place to check out for some really good information on all of that there. And then the last thing, the veggies. As I
Mm-hmm.
said, they're packed and loaded with a lot of the nutrients that we need to really function properly and do everything that we need, and be as healthy as possible. So for vegetables, fist. Okay, so 1 to 2 and I push more towards the 1 to 2 fist-sized portions of vegetables
Okay.
per meal, and that's again going to get us where we need to go. And you play with that however you need to in terms of your fullness and things like that. So those are kind of my
Are you saying per meal?
yes per meal.
You said per meal? That's
Yes.
a lot of vegetables, Tyrone.
Yeah. The veggies are good, and again, play with it. A fist-sized portion on one plate really isn't that bad. It really isn't too bad. So it's just again
I
like
have
about.
big hands.
You say you have big hands.
Yeah, that's a
Like I
lot.
said, just adjust it however you need to. It's all good. Yeah, we want a lot
So
of
I want to touch on
greens,
something really
a lot of
quickly.
colors. Yeah. Go ahead. I
Okay,
just
so
received.
a lot of us, like I mentioned, as far as working out and everything, I hear a lot a no carb diet. So is that the same thing that you were speaking of? There is no such, well, I'm not going to say no such thing, but we should not do a no carb diet. Is that right? Let me make sure I understood that correctly.
Yeah, you understood correctly. Yeah, anything that you
Okay.
hear that's really like pushing the extremes, uh, generally speaking, is not going to be where you want to go. I really believe in moderation, even
Okay.
with these habits that I've given you here. You just want to make sure that you're doing that probably 80% of the time. If you're really serious about your goals and wanting to transform your body and everything, 80% of the time, adhering to these things. That other 20%, it's all good. Like there's no such thing as perfection, and you shouldn't have that be that either. Like we just want to make this,
Right,
a
right.
regular habit as opposed to it being something that we're like, oh, like I gotta have my fist size portion
Yeah,
of veggies or I'm messing up. Like and that's the type of thing that can derail us as well if we get so locked in,
exactly.
fixated on a specific way. This all or nothing attitude that gets so many people I talk to. They're like, yeah, I didn't eat well on the weekends, so then I just said F it, and I went ahead and I drank a whole case of beers, and I had them cinnamon rolls, and then I had the cookies, and then I had so it's just like it creates that downward spiral because we have this all or nothing mindset of like, if I didn't do everything perfectly, if I didn't do it all, then I might as well just throw it all to the curb, and
Right.
that should be the case at all. Yeah.
Right, right. I totally agree with that. That'd be my problem because I feel
Mm.
I've been hearing all these do this and that, and it don't seem realistic, but I feel like I have to
Yeah.
do it so I can lose these pounds, and I give up.
Yeah.
I give up
Yeah.
because it's like I cannot do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I definitely understand. I appreciate you sharing all this knowledge with us. Is this something that you do? Like, do you teach this stuff online? Do you do like a training online with individuals? Is this something that you do and offer people?
Yeah, I'm actually just getting it up off the ground. I've been helping people for quite a few years now, but really getting my platform together and being like, okay, because that's one of the things for me is just like Tyrone, going back to my why, like you want to help as many people as possible. So, and you have the tools to be able to do that.
Right.
So, good plan. So yeah, I have a
Right.
online training and coaching business that I'm doing now, and it is a year-long
Okay.
curriculum. So it's not I don't want that thing where it's like I just want to get ready for this trip and then that's it. I want to help you create lifestyle
Right.
changes and change that.
That makes
Yep.
sense.
I'm taking shots, taking little shots. But yeah, so yeah, I can give you that information as well for the website, how to get there and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. I'm just getting that on board, so I'm taking clients now. Would be happy to
Okay.
have some join. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely share that information. I'm pretty sure a
yeah,
lot of people want to do the lifestyle changes. I'm gonna be honest, there's probably a lot of people out there like myself who are tough cookies. Like I'm just not, I want to do it, but like you said, maybe I just didn't find that why, or I didn't dig deep enough because I'll probably do one or two, I would say episodes, but one or two sessions with you, and it's probably like, I can't do this. Like I just can't, I don't dedicate myself. I don't know.
mm,
There's a problem within. So yeah, I could see
Yeah.
that. Like, what type of training do you like? Is there some things in the house that we could be doing,
Oh,
or anything like that to help us
oh, for
out?
sure, for sure. Yeah. So like I was saying before, just having that mindset and the mentality of just knowing and understanding that you have everything you need right now, everything you need to be successful. You don't necessarily need any specific or special kind of equipment. It's just about being resourceful and finding a way
Mm-hmm.
to get it done. That's one of my mantras. Find a way. Find a way. If it's really important to you,
Okay,
if it is really important to
you'll
you,
find a
you
way.
gonna find a way for sure. Like there's no arguing that whatsoever.
That's true.
So yeah, we can do that here in just a bit now. You can go straight body weight. Body weight you can use. I've because like I said, I travel quite a bit, and sometimes you go to some of these countries, and the gym and fitness culture. Even here in Japan, the gym and fitness culture is still on the up and up. Is still kind of trying to grow and everything like that. So maybe the hotel gym, they don't really have anything in there, things like that, and still me being me, I'm like, yo,
Right.
I still got to get I got to get the grind in. Like it ain't no questions about that. So I've used my suitcases in the
Right.
room. People people calling me
Okay.
crazy, like, bro, what you what are you doing? But yeah, I mean, it's just and people are gonna look. People might look at you. People might laugh at you, and that's cool. Like let them laugh. Let them laugh. You're doing what you need to do to get better and be the version of yourself that you envision and see.
Right.
So yeah, like you can grab a handbag, a purse, fill it up with I don't know whatever you have in the house, some water bottles, something like that.
Water bottles or
Exactly,
something.
use that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Perfume bottles.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You can actually like fill up a gallon jug, use that, or even if you have one of the bigger ones. There's so many limitless possibilities. It's just about being resourceful and again finding a way with what you have available.
Okay.
That's one of the big things about this situation with COVID that I was really trying to express to people. It's like, yeah, like we can't go to the gym right now. I dig that. I understand that. It does suck. Um, but if you look
Right.
around you, you have tools available to at least do something. It may not be
Right.
ideal. It may not be exactly what you want to do, but you're still doing something, and doing something is always better than nothing.
Better
Yeah.
than nothing. I totally agree with that. That's some good stuff. Yeah, I never would have thought filling the purse up with, some things and actually getting started. So yeah, we have everything we need right in front of us. So that makes a lot of sense. You have a lot of knowledge behind this. That
Yeah.
rocks.
Yeah, and
We
a lot of
appreciate
stuff
this a
it's
lot.
like I read something the other day and it's like when people tell us things, it's things that and like we get that knowledge, it's 9 times out of 10 something that we already know. We just didn't, necessarily come to the realization. So so yeah, like I
Right,
think
right,
that's why I talk about mindset. Initially that's kind of where everything starts. Mindset is everything. Having more of an open mind and really, broadening your lens instead of just seeing from here, opening up your eyes and seeing and looking around you and really
right.
recognizing the opportunities that are around you. And I'm not just talking about fitness and health and wellness, but everything in your career pursuits, everything you have to broaden your lens and really see and recognize the opportunities, and that's how we can really and truly thrive. And I'm all about thriving as opposed to a lot of people right now they're like just trying to survive. I'm like, nah, like we can
Right,
thrive right
right.
now. We can thrive. The opportunity is there. You just got to recognize it and take advantage.
That's true. That's 100% true. Tyrone, I really appreciate everything you shared with us. Did you want to give your website? Is there anything else you want to share with us today? Because everything you shared is 100%. Like, we needed to hear that because honestly, I know a lot of us didn't know about the carbs, about the thumb of fat, the fist of vegetables. So I felt like you shared a lot of information that a lot of us, well, I'll
Yeah,
speak for myself, that I know I
nah,
was unaware of. So I
definitely.
appreciate you sharing that. Anything else you wanted to share with us?
Uh, Let me think. Let me think. Is there anything else? No, not necessarily. Yeah, I kind of covered most of the stuff. I have some notes here. I'm checking that out real quick now just to
Okay.
see. Um,
Y'all make sure while he's checking that out, y'all make sure y'all play this video back and take up the knowledge. You know, a lot of people don't like to share knowledge, and a real leader shares because they want everyone else to be as successful as they are. So y'all make sure y'all play this back, share it to your friends, share it to individuals that you know want to start a goal, but maybe like they're like myself, they're not consistent or they're not dedicated. And that's because, like he said, it starts from here. So maybe their mindset isn't there. So help them by showing them this video and realize that's what they're lacking on, the why, So this was really good, Tyrone. That's all I can keep
Fantastic.
saying. Like this was some
Yeah,
great
like I said,
information.
it's my pleasure, and I always appreciate the opportunity to do these things like this because this is my
Right.
passion. This is my thing that I love to do: share information, help people see and realize their potential, and the more that we can do that for
Right.
each other, then the better this world can be. I feel like one of the biggest
Exactly.
tragedies is so much talent, so much potential goes wasted on a daily basis. I'm sure you've heard the quote or something like it. The richest place in the world is the cemetery because of all of that unused talent, unused
Mm,
potential. So the more that we can help each other
right.
foster that
Mm,
that energy, because I know for me, like if I look at my homies and I see the work that they're doing. My boy is a principal. He's doing his thing out there, like one of the youngest black principals in the nation. Um, like I got
mm.
brothers that are lawyers. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing their greatness, and it gives me chills. And I'm like, all right, like that's the type of thing I need to step my game up. I need to be better. So like I see
Right.
that, and yeah, it makes it lights my fire even more. So the more that we can do that for each other, the better we
Right.
all can be.
Exactly. We all can be, and that's why people always say hang around people that may not be on the same level as you. They might be up here to you, but that's going to make you strive for greater. So, hey, it's reach for the stars, reach for whatever you can do. Not give up
Yeah,
on yourselves.
100%.
Like that's so true. That's so true. I wish you could show us some. Look, because I watch your videos, so I wish you could show us some of the stuff you do. But Lord knows it's so intimidating. Like I feel like, whoo. But I know I would have a nice body if I just followed your footsteps.
It's all good. Yeah, like yeah.
You do so good,
Yeah,
Tyrone.
if you want to, I think because I think maybe now with time and everything, it might not be appropriate, but I think if we did like really set out like okay, and tell everybody like this is a fitness session. We're gonna be working out, training, get your stuff together. We can do it like that.
Now, if you're willing to do that, we can do that. Now we're gonna talk. We're gonna set that
Yeah,
up
yeah, I'm
now.
I'm all the way with it. I'm all the way with it. This isn't so much of a suggestion. This is a request. Let's do it. Can we please do this? Okay, okay.
Y'all hear it. Y'all hear it for yourself. All the way
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah,
Japan. Tyrone is putting us
yeah.
on a challenge, and
We're
I'm
gonna
ready
get to
for
it,
it.
okay? So yeah, I'll we can
Okay.
yeah we can coordinate between you and I, just telling everybody what I want them to have readily available, bring, and then we can rock it out from there. Okay.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. So we'll give everybody time. We'll talk. We'll set it up. Give us like a month or so everybody can get everything they need, and we're
Straight up. Let's
ready.
get it. Let's get it.
All right, Tyrone. Again, I really appreciate this so much. And I'm just going to go back to what I said. Not a lot of individuals share
Mhm.
knowledge. So this was a very knowledgeable session. I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for even, allowing us to get trained, on one of your sessions. So we really appreciate it. We're definitely going to set it up. And I thank you so much for spending this morning with us because I know your morning just started. So I really appreciate it. I really
Certainly,
do.
and the thanks goes both ways. I appreciate you and your platform, everything you're doing. It really is fantastic. One more thing I wanted to leave with everybody.
Thank you.
There's an
Sure.
author named Mel Robbins, and she has this thing called the 5 second rule. And basically, the idea and the premise behind it is that we get these bursts of inspiration or motivation, sometimes very randomly throughout the day. And her philosophy is that if we don't act on that, do something about that in 5 seconds, then we're more than likely push it to the background of our minds. So Yeah, and we do this. She calls it like the snooze, pressing the snooze button in life. You know, like if we think about the decisions that we
Mm,
make on a daily basis, probably one of the first ones that we make every day is pressing that snooze button.
yeah.
So starting
Right.
there, maybe in the morning, just right there, instead of pressing the snooze button, get up and get going right there, you know, and then do that throughout your day. Make that a habit of, instead of when you have an idea, when you have a spark of inspiration, instead of pushing the snooze and be like, I'll do that later. Because more than 9 times out of 10,
Mhm.
there is no later. It doesn't even happen. You
No.
end up forgetting about it altogether. So stop pressing
Yep.
the snooze
Yep.
button. Take advantage. You got 5 seconds to do that, and act and grab a hold of your greatness.
Wow, that says a lot because it touched here, and I know we're getting ready to end it, but I just want to say this really quick. The 5 second rule, that makes so much sense because I know I've thought about things. I want to do this, and then, like you said, life happens and you forget about it. But even with this platform, even with me starting Let's Sip and Talk with Freema, it happened so quick because it came in my head. I want to do this, and I immediately text my friends because I knew they all were going to be in Orangeburg that day. So it was like, okay, I immediately text them, and
Yep.
it happened. Had I not, I promise you we wouldn't be
Yep.
sitting here. So yeah, wow. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So I'm glad you left us with that. The 5 second rule. What was the author again, Tyrone?
Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins. Yeah.
Mel Robbins. 5 second rule. Okay. All right. Again, I appreciate you so much. Nice talking to you. Can't wait to do this
Yeah. Yeah.
session with you. And like we always say, let's sit and talk with Freema. Peace
Peace and
and
love,
love.
baby. Peace and love.
Bye,
All right. Take
everyone.
care. Thank you. See you.
Bye. You too. You're welcome.